Welcome for entertainment purposes only. 3 lions and a packet of crisps. If in doubt, kick it out. Episode 5. With your favourite maul in the goal, it's the Dirt Locker. And on your unofficial FIFA 2026 World Cup podcast, we'll be looking ahead to England vs Panama, Saturday the 27th of June. And it's 10 PM local kickoff time. But before we continue, I've got a serious promotion today that's close to my heart and one for a great cause. Why not join us Saturday, July the 18th for the 5th 7-a-side Memorial Tournament, remembering friend of many Paul Brown from Bishop Auckland. The venue is St Mary's football pitches up at Bishop Auckland Technical College. The football tournament's 11:30am till 3pm. Entrance is free to the tournament to watch the football, and you'll see 10 football teams giving 110%, made up of friends and family of Paul Brown, slug it out to take the trophy home. Paul Brown, known as Brownie on the football pitch, was a local footballing wizard. We can only try to emulate what that kid could do, and like many, I had the pleasure to play alongside him. Possibly you may have played against him. If he couldn't go around you, if he couldn't go through you, he'd go over you. There was no way you were stopping him getting past. He was a real talent, but an even better man. Very quick-witted, he always had a cheeky smile, always had a cheeky reply. We salute you and miss you dearly, Paul Brown. After the football, for £15 a ticket, you get access to the pavilion bar from 1pm, where we continue to celebrate the life of Paul Brown, share some stories, play some of his favourite music, where drinks can be purchased, and the ticket also gets you food from Piggy Blinder. It includes gourmet burgers and loaded fries. Local band JD and the Woodsmen are playing live music from 5pm, and there's also an ice cream van on site. Once we've squared up, the remainder of the money raised from tickets, fundraising, charity buckets, domino cards will go to If You Care Share, the chosen family charity in remembrance of Brownie. Tickets can be purchased from Wayne Fennell, myself, or even inquire at the Auckland Cupcake Company, Bishop Auckland. If you like it fluffy, if you like your cake moist, Auckland Cupcake Company is the only choice. Please note, they do not do bacon sandwiches. Time to reflect on England versus Ghana. What can we say about it? We have to remember we've only actually played one good half of football in this whole tournament, and yet that one great half of football that we played against Croatia, we all got a bit carried away and thought we were going to go and win it, and we still may win it, to be fair. I haven't seen much to be scared of. I think Brazil are starting to pull that act together. I think Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle, I think he's playing outstanding for Brazil at the moment. And obviously Vinny Jr., he's turned up. And also Cunha from Manchester United, he's playing really well. So I think Brazil probably, for me, Brazil look one of the best teams that's at the World Cup at the moment, along with France. I think France, their recent performance was really good. But England have shown a half of where they can pull it together. But against Ghana, I think he's got blind loyalty to Gordon, Madueke and Reece James. And I really don't think Reece James is playing that well at the minute. I mean, in the first half the other night, he did something really well where he linked up. He did a nice little 1-2 with Madueke and got round the back. But I just don't think he's giving enough. But equally, I don't really think there's anyone we can bring in to pressure Reece James. And maybe that's why we're not getting the best out of him. Regarding Gordon had an absolute horrendous game the other night, but it was almost like our wide players were just told to hug the line, but it was like they were told to just hug the line. I don't think he actually got into the game until he'd obviously had a right rollicking from the sidelines from Tuchel just before he took him off. He started getting the game, he started cutting inside, he started to be a problem. Madueke again, I just thought it was solid 7 out of 10. I thought he did, I don't think he did himself any injustice. I think he's looking better with every match. He's building on every match. And I have no doubt there is a player there. But should he be the player who should be starting? I'm not too sure. And there's a lot of people asking them questions. What do we do next at the back? Do we try Stones and Gooey? Is that going to be our next move? I can't see him not putting Stones into that team somewhere. So they kept a clean sheet the other night. Do you change it? I don't know. We still look vulnerable. We still look very vulnerable at the back. There's a lot of work that has to be done. We just play too slow. And I said this on the last podcast. I think Conser really slows us down. And I wasn't that impressed with Mark Gouet the other night. I don't think he was much different to Stones. Stones probably actually looked better than Mark Gouet the other night when he played against Croatia. But don't you kid yourself. Croatia ran a good team. Croatia are not a good team. And I said this on the podcast. But slow pace doesn't suit. When we went over to America, them couple of friendlies, I haven't watched England for a long time, especially when in these Mickey Mouse tournaments that they do, the friendly tournaments. I don't enjoy them. I don't get any kick out of them. But what I was impressed with when we went over to America was how fast and fluid the football was. I could see it was a different England to Southgate. I could see what Tuchel wanted. And I think he does want it to be fast. And I think he does want us to press and he does want us to attack. But the issue is the manager can't kick the ball. There's only the players who can get him out of this. So first half against Ghana, we just looked like we didn't have a plan B. We just looked like we'd accepted we couldn't break them down. And he has half time. The difference was against Croatia, they came out with a different attitude on the front foot. They didn't the other night. They came out against Ghana and played literally exactly the same way as he had in the first half. The only time it changes is when he makes the substitutes. And he brings Rashford on, who should be starting. He brings O'Reilly on, who should be starting for me. I know he mentioned about the reason he played Jed Spence. I like Jed Spence. You'll have seen me on my previous podcast there. Towards the end of last year in the Premiership, he impressed me. I was starting to see where his pace gets him out of trouble. But the other night, you need to score goals. So you should have your attacking players on the field. I just think he's got it wrong. I just think if you want to play Jed Spence, you probably should have played him against Croatia and played O'Reilly against Ghana. Listen, I just think he's got to pick his best 11. And I don't think he's done that yet. But my worry is Thomas Tuchel's best 11 the same best 11 that we're all thinking? So, you know, is it Rashford on the left, Saka on the right? He's got this blind loyalty, I think, to his ex-Chelsea players, which is Reece James, which will have been Madueke when he was there. I don't know. Just play your best 11. This next game, we should have been able to rest people. We can't. Play your best 11. You know, and we all know what that is. I think we do anyway. You've got to have Rashford on the field. You've got to have Saka on the field. Okay, the only person who I would see getting rested is Saka, and he'll probably have to stick with Gouet and Konsa as centre-half, but I don't think Gouet played that well the other night. But Konsa really slows the play down for me. And I said this against Croatia, when you had him and Stones on, you just like too much time on the ball. And a bit like how confidence spreads in a team when someone shows confidence. Confidence feeds confidence. I think at the back, when they're playing so slow, that can kind of be infectious in the team and set that kind of rhythm. It just wasn't good enough. Plain and simply wasn't good enough. And we could have actually lost that game the other night against Ghana. And that is how we get beat. That is how the Japans beat us, how the Senegals beat us, through playing this negative, slow football right across the back line. It's awful. You know, I want to see triangles, I want to see passing moves, I want to see 1-2s. I want to see something a little bit different now and then. And the other thing is, there is a tournament for Gordon, Madueke and Rodgers. They're the future. They are the future. It's just, in this tournament, they need to just be backseat for Bellingham, for Saka, and for Rashford. Rashford looks... I've been impressed every time he's come on. And he's only had 10, 15 minutes here and there. Even in the friendlies, I think he came on for Gordon, who scored and maybe set a goal up. I still thought we looked better when Rashford was in the team, even though Gordon had obviously got his name on the sheet. Scotland, they've got 5.82% chance, I read earlier, of qualifying. We wish them luck. Hopefully that lands for them. They probably need a favour off Belgium, and they probably need Algeria to get absolutely hammered tonight. But you never know. You never know. Hopefully they get through. Be nice to see them there. I think they'll be the first to admit they haven't played great. They haven't shown the best Scotland yet. And I'd like to see Ross Stewart starting front for them, if I'm brutally honest with you. I think he's the best centre forward to me, but he seems to be third or fourth in the queue, and I think he's probably better than the other lads you've got, Dykes and Shankland. Angelo, I told you, keep an eye on Nelson Angelo at the tournament. So what I didn't know was he's had a slight knock, and he just started his first game for Ecuador last night and scored a beauty. And he scored it past Germany. I think he's the fourth Sunderland player to have scored at the World Cup. Angelo and Brian Brobby. I told you the two players to keep an eye out for, and it's only because I watch Sunderland. I watch, like I say, Newcastle, Middlesbrough, Sunderland. I watch them all the time. I've been impressed with Bruno from Newcastle. And Angelo and Brobby, I said, they're really good players. Unless they're your club and you watch them a lot, you wouldn't know. But Brobby's got fit. And this is what people don't realise. When he first come to Sunderland, he wasn't fit. He's fit now. And he looks a different player. He's just a different beast. And to be fair, he got two last night if the defender didn't kick it in his own net, because he was behind and ready to put it in. England versus Panama. Do you know what? I'm going to give you a prediction. I'm going to write it down as well. England against Panama, I'm going to go 2-0, and I'm going to go Harry Kane, both of them. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but Panama have to come out and win. They may choose first half to frustrate us, play the low block, play very similar to how Ghana played, but ultimately Panama need to win to have any chance of going through. So I would expect to see them come out the blocks. There's no point being there just to, save face when you're in their position at the bottom of the group. They're going to have to come out, and that should play into England's hands. I did fancy going higher 4-0, but you've got to respect Panama. They've had already just 2 1-0 defeats, and I think one was last minute to Ghana. Urenki, I think it was, who scored. Urenki, or whatever he's called. But I'm going to say England 2-0 versus Panama. I can't even talk about any of the Panama players because I'd just be Googling it, researching, and then trying to give you some information on them. I genuinely don't know any of them. I've not seen them. But I do respect that they give people enough trouble to almost get points against them. And the way England played against Ghana, the way we played first half against Croatia, listen, keep a clean sheet, score a couple of goals, it'd be a nice finish to the group. And here, we could be Germany right now, having to reflect on a defeat to Ecuador, who, at the minute, if we win our group, we would meet in the knockout phase of the tournament. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on that. That'll be a hard game. That'll be a very hard game. They have a strong defence. They also have a threat. They're fast, they work hard. They work hard in the middle, they get the ball out of the wing. They'll have a go at us. I don't think they'll sit back and try and frustrate us. I think they will have a good go at us. But listen, I'm just a mole in the hole, what do I know? I hope you have a good night tomorrow night when you watch it. I've filmed this on the Friday, so sorry I can't discuss anything that happens this evening. Hopefully we see Scotland in the next round. I wish you all the best. But ultimately, I hope you have a great evening, whatever you're doing. Thanks for watching the channel, and I'll leave you